Hello there, this is Hans Forschner with Navcon Engineering Network. In late October 2023, Marshall Acoustics released INSUL version 10. This release has been long anticipated. INSUL version 10 includes new algorithms, which required a complete review of the material properties and also triggered a major review and verification of past and current predictions. This video is meant as a general overview. Marshall Acoustics will release additional videos in the upcoming weeks on the changes in the quad calculation and the new wave-based glazing prediction. A quick disclaimer, nothing said in this video should be interpreted as professional advice or software training. We do not assume any liability for the correctness or relevance of this video. Note that it is very likely that upcoming version 10 revisions will have improvements and changes. For more up-to-date details, please check the INSUL online help and documentation. Marshall Acoustics developed the online help desk to allow for quicker and more up-to-date documentation. Let's get started. I will get started here going over the INSUL version 10 user interface. The overall layout has a lot of similarities to INSUL version 9. What is new are, of course, up here we have different new icons. Up here on the left-hand side, calculate, job nodes, open file, save files, save data or copy data, copy illustration, the print, and the creation of a PDF file. And then also here we have the reset. On the right-hand side, we see we have the outdoor to indoor calculation, we have the composite calculation, and then we have material editors, the settings, and the help and the about. The toolbar up here, it's one of the preferences. We can also switch it. Similar to version 9, we have option to switch around the toolbars to the right side. We can switch the construction tabs, the panel tabs, the octave bands, description, and so on. So maybe just play around with that and see which layout is preferable for your application or for your use. INSUL will save the setup of the different panels or toolbars at the end of when you close INSUL. So the next time you open it up, it will remember the setup. Maybe on this here, a few things here. We have the panel filter and absorber filter. These are new. What you get here is you're switching around some of these references. So if we go, for example, to panel and we change the panel filter, it basically just flips around. And in this case, we are filtering by the name first of all, but then we can in addition have categories and manufacturers. So you can do the pre-filter right here, and then it looks at all the materials that meet the category and the manufacturer, for example. But then you can also, of course, add additional text filter to that. And then in this case, we have like free filters, the sheathing, gypsum board, and certainty as a manufacturer. Now, in terms of the frame, we have now also the filtering in terms of the infill. So here, in terms of the view control, we can flip around the absorption filter. So again, we can filter by the text and the categories and manufacturers. Now, in terms of the saving of illustration, copy illustrations right here, I want to note a new feature that we have in version 10, and this is where we can define our views and we can create your own views. So here I have a default view for Navcon, and I have another one for wall view or another one for glazing view. You can set up and create and edit these views, and you can save them right here, edit views, and this will be saved in the settings under general illustrations. So here we can move around some of these views in terms of the listing, and then here we can rename them, delete them, and again move them up and down. So of course the copying of illustration or the setting up these illustrations for the printouts, make sure that all the printouts look the same in terms of like how it's displayed on the printout. All right, so here on the graphic, I want to note this pink area that we see here in this graphic. This is the Lab Max display, and the Lab Max display comes from an ISO 10140-5, laboratory measurements of sound insulation of building elements, and this basically defines the requirements of the facilities. So here you can see when we are starting to predict a construction that goes into this pink area, that we may have issues with laboratories not being able to measure those transmission losses. So just something to be aware of. So here we just want to show you the filter. So here I put in rubber, and that means any frame types that have rubber in the text. So we have rubber isolation for timber studs, or rubber isolation for steel studs, and we can select between of those. So finally, I want to kind of go over some of the changes in terms of the quad prediction. So INSUL version 10 now has a quad prediction implemented. So here we have panel 1, panel 2, 3, and 4, and we have a total of 3 frame types. So you can, from one frame type to the next, you can use copy frame type up here with this little icon, and that allows you to copy the frame type from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, and the same with the infill. In terms of the prediction accuracy, please keep in mind that we have a decrease in terms of the accuracy with the increase of number of elements involved in the construction. So from triple panel construction, the accuracy prediction to a quad prediction decreases just because of more elements and additional frame types. So let me go over this menu option here at the very top. One thing that is changed here, we find the settings right here under the menu, under basically save, export, and all that, and print. We're finding the settings. Here we have the calculation settings. So similar to version 9, we have global, where we can turn on like the edge damping, the zero correction, some of the dimension in terms of wall, ceiling, roof, or glazing dimensions, and room details. The room details primarily used for the calculation from outdoor to indoor. Here the leakage, which models will be used, the roof in terms of what are the defaults for the rainfall prediction, and then what is the assessment criteria. And then we have glazing. What are the default models? The energy-based model is right now my default, but we could also change that to the wave-based model. I'll get to that in a second. And then, of course, in terms of the evaluation, is it a STM evaluation, or is it an ISO evaluation using RWL, LNM? Or is it an SDC or IIC? Then we have, of course, general settings in terms of languages, in terms of illustrations. So here we can look at the illustration views, the printing. So here we can put in your company name and also your company logo. So here you select your logo bitmap. Different prompts, show hints, show warnings, and the units, of course, metric or English imperial units. Under materials, which materials are automatically selected. Here we can change the region and select and add more region to the database. Then here, where are the files listed? Important if you want to create your user files and put that on the network. Right here we can update the location where the user files are saved. Auralization, same thing as with version 9. We have different audio source files. We can define where the files are located. Different settings in terms of like the amplification or ramp up time. And then flanking, of course, indicate flanking limits. And then here we can add customized flanking limits or limits that are predefined in INSUL for masonry or lightweight construction. So finally, let me go and show the glazing modeling, the energy-based and wave-based modeling. So here I'll like to use an example. I'll use a double glazing, and I'll use a 1/8 of an inch glass with a spacing of 1 inch, fairly typical. So here we have the prediction of an STC of 38. All right. And I will save this as my comparison. So this is double glazing 1/8, 1 inch, and 1/8, 1 inch, and then 1/4 inch. All right. Okay. And then I like to change the modeling and toggle over to the wave-based modeling. All right, and it incorporated the same panel. Here we have our 1/4 inch glazing. We have the frame types, and then here we have the panel 2. This is my 1/4 inch. So we have an 8 inch glass and a 1/4 inch glass and 1 inch spacing right here. So now we can click on the calculate, and the calculation first would calculate and store radiation impedance. This is really quick with just the two glaze or double glazing. And then from here, it continues with the prediction on a frequency by frequency basis. So here it's calculating the transmission loss. So it does that on a frequency by frequency basis, and in between it now interpolates the 3rd octave insertion loss or transmission loss. So here we can kind of see that there's slight changes at very high frequency at 4 and 5 kilohertz, but for the most part it follows very relatively closely to the energy-based calculation. So here we have now an STC of 38 in both ways calculated, but of course slight variations here. So I can save this set as a comparison. So this is wave, and then this is 1/8, 1 inch, and 1/4 inch, and this is alu frame. And we could repeat that with any of these other frame types that we have, with wood frames. And then we can press calculate to start the calculation. In this case, it just needs to do the transmission loss prediction. It looks like it's coming in slightly lower in the mid frequency range. All right, so it's about 3 points lower in terms of the STC rating. All right, now here for the wave base, there's also show free field results. So here we can define a incident angle, and in terms of horizontal and elevation angle. So here we can, if we have like a source that is at a specific angle to the glazing, we can do additional calculation in considering the kind of incident angle on the effect of glazing. So let me put in an incident angle. Let's make it maybe 15 degrees, and horizontal maybe a 45 degree, and recalculate. All right, so here we can see this blue line is the free field prediction, and the green is the kind of like the random incident. So the free field with a certain angle range will increase at the mid and high frequencies compared to the random incident transmission loss. This concludes this overview on INSUL version 10. Marshall Acoustic is planning to publish some videos in the coming weeks on the quad calculation and the wave-based calculation. Thank you.